Hello, friends. Welcome to the Note Coach podcast. I'm your host, Suzanne Culberg. Today's topic, episode 169, marketing is not about attracting people. Now, I've never, ever come across this before, so I'm welcoming back Mark Silver. And you mentioned this in your book, Heart-Centered Business. It's only the part that I'm up to right now, so I'm going to get a sneak peek of what's coming. But that heading that I was reading this morning just before we hit record, I've never heard anyone say that, Mark. So what makes you... Tell us.
So attraction, so when things go sideways in marketing, people, are trying to feel like they have to get people. Like I have to somehow grab you by the lapels, drag you in, or I have to hold up some kind of like a thing that you're like a moth to a flame, or what, somehow it puts a lot of pressure on, and it really it feels gross. And
For
what
both
I
parties.
have, oh my God, seriously, you know, um, and I think that what I've noticed, and this comes from my spiritual background, of course, is that attraction is the province of love. It's the province of love. You can't manufacture love. It's, your heart can fill with love, it can express love, the deep caring that you have for your people, for your audience, for wanting to help people. Like there's a deep love there, and that is attractive. Who you are and your presence people might be drawn to that, just kind of naturally in an easy way. But when you try to manufacture attraction through marketing, it's just, that's when everything starts to feel grabby, starts to feel gross, starts to feel weird, because then you feel like, oh, if I don't get this right, then it all fails. If I can't pull them in, it brings up those gross feelings. So when I began to observe something that I'm not the only one who observed this, is that we have had our hearts broken so many times, both in the field of love and also just in the field of business and in this toxic culture that we're living in, Western civilization and late stage predatory capitalism and white supremacy and all this crap and sexism, yada yada. It's all like there's a lot of big promises, and it's very, very rarely followed through on, and we get our hearts broken a lot. And so a lot of people are on their guard.
Mm.
And so what they're looking for is like, okay, my heart feels something, but am I going to get my heart broken again? Like, is it really going to work out? Like, is this person really trustworthy? And so when I really thought about it, prayed about it, sat with it, and thought through everything, and I've been helping people with marketing for like 23 years. I've done a lot of marketing for myself and for my clients. And and I just had the insight that marketing is about safety. Marketing is about safety. When marketing can communicate safety, then it allows people to then be able to take a breath, slow down, and to discern in their own heart, am I really attracted to this or not? Am I really drawn to this? Is this something that I really want or need? But it gives that space, but it gives them the safety to slow down, the safety to be able to then listen to themselves, instead of just feeling like you've got to keep up this, you know, this um, um, this attack that
Yes.
keeps them distracted and drawn in until they purchase.
What this makes me think of too, I think sometimes if you embrace that safety or whatever, and you really sit with it, then you might think, oh, well, nobody will want to buy from me. Like you might be like, and that's why I love somewhere else in the book you're saying, yes, have a strategy, like be strategic, but it's not about using people. And then same, yes, market, but not market to get clients. Like that just feels predatory. Like I've got to go and get,
Right.
And I think that people can feel that on the receiving end too. Like you feel if somebody is desperate and they're like dropping the price, or they're giving you all these extra bonuses. Or like my pet peeve is you see something, it's like, buy this thing valued at like $10,000, and they break it all down, and then it's yours today for 100. And I'm like, if it was really worth 10,000, why don't you go sell it for 10,000? Like, it's just, is any of
Right.
this actually these bonuses actual bonuses, or they're just fluff that like fillers?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's so funny because uh, marketing, um, so there's kind of two things that I want to say here. One is that the there's a saying in Sufism in Islam that is a quote that's attributed directly to God, and it says, "I was a hidden treasure, and I yearned to be known. So I created the creation in order to be known." And what this means is that we all carry this divine spark within us of wanting to be known, of wanting to be witnessed, of wanting to really be seen. And the common marketing trope of like speak to the pain points, normally how that's done is it's done in a way that's meant to re-traumatize people so that they go into an agitated state, and then the only way of relieving that agitated re-traumatized state is to purchase. Like that creates the soothing to get out of the pain that's being like pushed on. But we still need to it's not that we want to abandon speaking to where someone is struggling, but if we can see someone as whole, if we can see someone as unbroken, as perfect, but we can also see their struggle, then people feel seen, you know? I don't have to, I don't have to say like, are you like suffering from, terrible back pain and you can't pick up your child and you're worried that you'll never be able to pick them up again. And if you don't do something about it, you're going to miss their childhood. So you better jump in and get help immediately, which is like the kind of re-traumatizing, painful approach that a lot of people do. Or you can say, if you're suffering, if you've hurt your back and you can't do the things you care about, maybe picking up your child or what have you, like, you know, there's a lot, people heal from back injuries, and there's a lot of different approaches that can really help you. Notice I'm not saying this is the only way to do
Yeah,
it.
that a lot of different
There's a
approaches is what really stood out there. Like, this is one
right,
of them, not I'm the
right,
inherent savior and without me you're screwed for life.
right. And and there's some, and I, you know, you'd want to work with it, of course, but it's like, of course, not every method has 100% success rate, but you really can. Many, many, many people do heal from back injuries and come back to it, and it just requires that you care for yourself. And so, but your body has a natural ability to heal, and it just needs the support to do that. And so giving that kind of like seeing them as whole, seeing, coming to them from caring, really witnessing the struggle that they're having. And it enables them to kind of slow down and get out of the panic and go, okay, I can heal from this. Okay, this person is relevant to me. Like, let me read what they're offering and see if it resonates. And it's just a very different approach. And so, and that what that does is that brings in safety because the person feels seen instead of feeling pressured. This the second thing that I wanted to mention is that one of the things that makes marketing heart-centered is the numbers, surprisingly. We don't want to treat people like a number, but when someone has a very small business and they haven't really put the effort into marketing yet, and when you're new, you can't really avoid this state. It's just, everybody starts someplace. But when you only have a very few people that you're reaching, and every single person you talk to is like, oh my God, are you going to help me pay my mortgage? Are you going to help me pay there's a lot of pressure on each potential individual client. But as you do the marketing and as you make your audience larger and as there's more people for you to speak to and for people to come forward, then it's much easier to be unattached, to desire to work with someone, but to not be needy and grasping, and really give each sovereign adult who comes to you the spaciousness to be able to decide whether they want to work with you or not. It's not that you're not there. You're like, there's sacred selling. There's ways to be in the sales conversation that supports them. You don't want to be completely hands off because that's abandonment. But there is a there's a beauty and a safety that comes when you're reaching many people because you don't have to put pressure on any individual.
I love that. It reminds me of something else you say in the book about, in it, you use a different example, but the context is similar. Feeling empowered versus feeling abandoned. If
Right.
if the client's coming to you and you desire to work with them, like, the feeling of empowerment, versus if they don't say yes, then I'm going to feel abandoned, and that kind of almost neediness of like, if
Right.
I don't sign this one, then that means something about me as a business owner or whatever. It's like, if there's this one, there will be others. Like, yes, I desire clients, but it doesn't have to be this very person in front of me this second.
Right. 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 Exactly. And and it's hard to feel that in the new business when you're not reaching a lot of people yet. It really is. And that's where spiritual practice comes in. That's also where having some kind of alternative form of support, like not what we would, I'm not a fan of cliff diving, of people just jumping out of a job and wanting to get their business going really rapidly. Like, it's okay to develop slowly. It's okay to have support. I had a part-time job starting this business. It's like it's if you have access to it, or if you have a partner that's partly supporting you. This is another big thing that often comes up. I know we're kind of veering out of the original
Oh no, that's
topic,
all
but
cool, but it's
but
it's something
but
that's so profound. I think that it isn't often said. Like when we see the posters, I made 6 figures in 60 days and whatever. But did you have? And I've always been upfront. I've been very fortunate that my husband's income has supported in times where my business has been leaner, and definitely when it was starting out. We weren't. If we were relying on it, it would have been a very different approach to does it have to pay the bills today, or can you allow it the breadth to grow? Because
right.
sometimes it's like, if I needed income today, then I would go and get an actual job that 9 to 5, and there's no shame in that, because you can still
There's
build
no
your business
shame.
in the evening and the weekend.
It's so important. It's so important to give yourself that spaciousness. And the thing that I say is that, of course, if your spouse is supporting you, so many people want, or family, getting family support or whatever. It's like, of course, you want to contribute. And of course, you want your business to work. And of course, you don't want to take more than you need to. And I just want to say for everyone, we've had, my wife has struggled with chronic illness for a long time. She's a partner in the business. She does great, but it's been up and down with her. And speaking as the person who has given the support at that level, I'm not making, like, she's given so much support. I don't want it to sound unequal in that way. It's like, but just in this case with the financial aspect, if you're being supported by someone, if you're receiving support from someone, um, it's so much easier for the person providing support if you just let yourself rest into it rather than trying to push it away or trying to jump off of it prematurely or trying to kind of refuse it. Like, if you just relax into it and say, okay, they are really happy to support me. We are okay. And that allows you to really focus on but not everybody has this, I know, but when you're in that situation, to just really allow yourself to rest into that and build your business, um, it'll go faster. I promise you, it'll be easier for everybody involved.
And I think that's such a good point. So many people don't really allow themselves to receive. It's, as you said, there's that pressure to push back. And I was fortunate that I've had very good open communication with my husband. But I remember saying, similar to what you just said, I don't feel like I'm contributing. And he was like, hang on, let me pause you there. You may not yet be contributing financially. This was a conversation we had a few years ago. He goes, but what else do you contribute? Like, who's the primary one who gets up with the kids or takes them to school or helps them with the homework? Like, contribution isn't just money.
Amen. Amen.
So thank you
Amen.
so much for
So
joining
much.
me, Mark. I just, for everyone, I love this, marketing is not about attracting people. What I took from it, and I said I'm still at that part in the book, but and just to finish the episode, when I was early in business and I got a website because, I did everything backwards, but I remember, getting the professional photos done, having hair and makeup, putting it all up there and feeling professional. And my clients at the time was like, but this is not you. You have mum bun, like you no makeup, crazy shirts. We love that. We love that about you. This is not you. It was actually disconnecting from my audience, but that's what I thought I had to do. So when I rebranded, now I have like my sweary nature and my ridiculous t-shirts and whatever. It's not about attracting people, but the people who are like, oh my gosh, you can be successful and be like that. I want to know about her. as opposed to I need to look like this because I don't feel comfortable. So that's another thing I
Amen.
took about it. You just be you.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
I love it. So, Mark, what do you do and where can people find you?
So we help people who want to make a business and want to make a difference in the world, and their business really needs to work. Like they need to make a profit, and we help them by helping them realize that every act of business can be an act of love. And we live at heartofbusiness.com. Um, and the book, I love it. I love that you're in the middle of it.
I've got
Thank
it.
you. You can download a free excerpt, or you can just go get the book. It's published. You can, find it wherever you find books. I am in the U.S., and so centered is spelled in the Yankee way with the ER instead of the RE. But and I apologize for that. It's not my fault. I was raised that way. So I just I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that you invited me in.
I love it. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone. Catch you on the next one. Bye for now.